Honorable Timothy Mtambo, thank you so much for giving me the privilege to talk with you about a very important subject that concerns us as Malawians, but also I think in general applies to anywhere really in the world when we talk about leadership and development. And can I call you comrade?
Yes, I'm a comrade. I'm a son of the struggle, so I'm all right with that.
Very good. Comrade Timothy Mtambo, thank you so much. You are the Commander-in-Chief for the Citizens for Transformation movement. Can you just talk a little bit about that movement, how it began and what your main goals are? What are you actually trying to achieve for Malawi?
I believe in the people, and I believe in transformation. For me, any change that is not transformative is not desired. You know, after we were in a deep struggle, fighting for a better country, fighting for change. After reading HRDC, the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, a movement that I was its founding chairperson, I decided to form a new movement that will give me the leverage to deal with Malawi's political problem. Because I knew that HRDC was limited. It was an institution that was apolitical. Then I needed to do something more to make sure that our struggle for change is actualized. So that was what gave the birth for Citizens for Transformation movement, because I saw that Malawi, after we achieved an electoral justice, what was needed next is to ensure that there is a political battle, and the political battle is done on ballots. So as an NGO person, I couldn't be effective to contribute towards that. So CFT was formed to complete the struggle, to make sure that what we started was actually finalized. That is the struggle for change. Secondly, CFT, as in its abbreviation, C for citizens, F for and T for transformation. Now, I hold and believe that a nation is as capable as its citizens. If you have capable citizens, you have a capable nation. A nation should always strive to invest in its people. If its people have got proper social welfare, such as education, health, the economic environment is okay, people are thriving, wealth is being created in the people, then we are creating a powerful nation. There is no meaning that we should be saying our country maybe is rich when its people are languishing in abject poverty. So at the core of Citizens for Transformation is basically a capability approach to development. I believe in development as a freedom, and I believe that development should basically invest in the people, enhancement of capabilities in the people. So at the core of Citizens for Transformation movement is the adage that, destiny must be written by us, not for us. So it's only an empowered citizenry who can be able to author their own destiny. To say and to sama pasi nsomba, tiapunzise kutazigwira bwanji nsomba. That is at the core for CFT. So Citizens for Transformation, it's to say we have to create capable citizens who should be able to transform their own country. Citizens who are there for transformation. That is a people's movement. Actually, it is a people power movement. That's what drives us. A movement by the people. People power movement.
Yes.
a movement empowered by the people. Without the people, this movement is actually dead. So its dream is very rife.
Yeah.
CFT is growing day in, day out.
Yeah.
As its commander-in-chief, I'm actually very comfortable. We
Yeah.
might be different with other movements because we adopted a revolutionary approach,
Yeah.
a liberation approach.
Yeah.
We are a product of a
Yeah.
revolution,
Mm-hmm.
a product of a quest for radical change. So
Yes.
that's what we represent. CFT represents citizens who are there, who have the hunger for change. And this
Involved
change
citizen.
must
Yes.
be transformative.
Very good. Very good. Wow. That's a lot to think about, but I really appreciate just how you've put everything together in such and condensed for us what the whole purpose of the Citizens for Transformation CFT is about. And are you satisfied with what you've achieved so far?
In what terms? I think I would say I'll have a full satisfaction when I see uh, true transformation in Malawi.
Yeah.
But I think the Bible says we have to thank God for whatever happens. I would
Yes.
like to thank God that I'm satisfied that we were able to influence change in this country into the Third Republic. Right
Yes.
now, as a country, we're in the Third Republic.
Yeah.
1959, 1964, the First Republic was ushered.
Yes.
The Republic of Malawi, and sons and daughters of this country, sons like Oton Chirwa,
Yeah.
Kamuzubanda, Chipembere, Kanyama Chumi, and the rest, they worked, they toiled, they fought, and
Yes.
they ushered in the First Republic.
Yeah.
1993, 94, again, Malawians were tired and they ushered the Second Republic. 2019, 2020, we came again as a people and we said, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We want to fight tribalism. We want to fight corruption. We want to fight regionalism. We want to fight nepotism. We wanted to usher a new government and a new Malawi, a transformative Malawi. So we contributed to that. And I thank God that we are still alive, up to date. God saved us. Now,
Yes.
right now, we are in government, busy trying to create the mess, to clean the mess.
Yeah.
It won't be easy. It won't be automatic. If
Yeah.
somebody thought immediately we change leadership, then everything changes right there and then, it's not possible. A
Yeah.
disease, it's easier for it to get into the body, but for it to come out is not easy.
Yeah.
So people must ensure that they give the leadership time and support. We are like in a war. This is a battle. So we need the captain. We need the general to be given support from all of us.
Yes.
And there will be very tough decisions.
Yeah.
Because somehow it's more or less like the people thought if some people are removed, then it's our time to eat.
Yeah.
This is not the time to eat for anyone.
Yeah.
It's the time to remake Malawi. It's
Yeah.
the time to ensure that we start from a proper foundation. So
Yes.
in this time, many of us will feel painful, but I think, even if you are taking medication, you do not enjoy taking medication. It's always bitter, but in the end, it cures you. So what I
Yes.
would say, I thank God that we have also started a new government with a leadership that is visionary, with a leadership that cares about Malawians. So I'm
Yes.
calling upon Malawians to basically support the leadership. So this is another reason for us to thank Malawi. My emphasis is that now is the time. We know that we have revolutionized Malawi. Malawi is currently revolutionized.
Yes.
Our country is no longer the same.
Mhm.
Malawians have been emancipated politically.
Yes.
But what we're waiting for is an economic emancipation. Malawians have been inculcating with the spirit of active citizenship. Citizens who are active. But what we're waiting for is now it's time to do the following three things. One, it's time to organize our people.
Yes.
To mobilize them and organize them.
Yes.
To unify them. Two, it's time to discipline our society. When you look at issues of corruption, when you look at aimless hatred all across in this country, issues to do with division, all these things are signs of a lost glory. The lost glory in our country, who have lost values. That's why under our ministry, we are introducing transformative national values. Values which will bind Malawians together. Values which will reconcile Malawians. Values which will change the mindset of Malawians. Values which will sow the new seed in the country for us to have a new citizenry. Our children should be inculcated with such values which we call collectively as Malawian values. So I think I'm satisfied so far, and I thank God that we are part and parcel of this generation, and we have a generational mandate to build a Malawi that is fair for all, a Malawi that opens up opportunities for all, a Malawi that makes everybody of us proud to be part of this country.
So you said three things. One, we need to organize the people. We need to discipline the people. What is the third thing that you want to communicate to the country?
We need to develop.
We need to develop.
We need to
Can
develop.
you speak more about that, please?
For a development agenda to work, we must have an organized society, firstly. Secondly, we must have a disciplined society.
Yes.
Then that society is going to move together with a corrective vision to achieve development.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now I want to just, I can see you're very excited, very passionate about this, and I don't want to, pour water on that fire, but I want to take you back a little bit to the times of the demonstrations and all that was happening. I mean, you, like I said, you championed great leadership, and I know that you survived a number of assassination attempts. So many, your life was in danger, but nothing stopped you. You kept going. You kept going until the goal that you had said was achieved. And today we can say, praise God. We thank God for people like you who are there leading all of us and rallying the troops, as it were, to make sure that this development, this change happens so that Malawi can develop and move forward. But what people may not know, and what I don't know, I would like to know, what was it like for you to be living through those times? Because I'm asking this because when we begin to talk about moving forward, bring about change, we have to realize what it takes. We need to know what does it take to bring about that kind of massive change at a national level, but also even at a personal level. What was it like for you living through those times?
To begin with, I would like to agree with you. A country cannot move forward if it doesn't understand where it is coming from.
Yeah.
You cannot move forward if you do not understand where you are coming from, if you do not appreciate where you are, and if you do not have a vision where you want to go. I was driven by the love for this country. Patriotism has been something that dictates whatever I do every day. No matter how much people can assemble to fight me, when I know that what I'm standing for is better for our people, I never surrender. That's where I adopt the slogan by John Cena to say, never give up.
Yeah.
Now, I know that when you are doing the right thing, God is always on your side. And one thing that I avoid in my life is to fight people for nothing, or to engage in fighting people who have not wronged me.
Mm.
God does not favor such people. You do not have to be fighting people just for the sake of hatred.
Mm.
No matter how much people can fight you, if you are standing on justice, God will always stand with you. When fighting for a cause, I have got a persistence that does not recognize failure.
Mm.
When fighting for a cause, I have got a persistence that does not recognize failure.
Yeah.
And what we fought for, we didn't fight to govern,
Mm.
but we fought to be governed better. This is what people should understand, that the agenda that I read, that citizen agenda, was not based on the fact that we wanted to govern. Today that I'm a minister does not mean that I've achieved what I wanted. I
Yeah.
never even dreamed, or I never even wanted or aspired to be a minister. But when the leadership requested me to do this, I accepted it wholeheartedly, because I know it's a cause for the people of this country.
Mm.
So any assignment that is there to do something about the people, I'll always accept it with all my heart. So this I
Mm.
wanted to emphasize. It was not easy, it was tough. But as I said, the, the desire to see a better Malawi kept driving me.
Yeah.
And I know that many people, thousands, millions of Malawians were praying. I
Yes.
met many people who told me that we pray for you every day. And I still owe them a lot. I
Mm.
still pray for them as well. And I still stand to say what we wanted has not been achieved, but we are going towards that.
Very
My
good.
assurance to the people is that God has given us a leadership that cares, a leadership that is God-fearing, and a leadership that is visionary.
Mm-hmm.
So our duty, all of us, is that we should support our president.
Yeah.
We should give support to our vice president.
Mm.
We should give support to the cabinet. We should give support to our MPs. We
Mm.
should give support to all the leaders in this country if Malawi is to move forward.
Yeah.
We should love each other. If love prevails, it will take us forward. So I repeat, it was not easy,
Yeah.
but God was on our side. And if God is with us, nobody can be against us.
Yes. Yes. No, I agree. Yeah. For me, those were exciting moments, and I was part of those. I was part of the demonstrations, and I remember just like the excitement welling up within me every single time we'd go on the streets to demand change. And I like what you said, that we did not fight to govern, but we fought to be governed better. But this is a very important question. I want us to kind of dig a little bit deeper, because you mentioned that Malawi needed to be emancipated politically. So the political emancipation has been achieved, but there's another kind of emancipation that must happen, which is, as you put it, economic emancipation. Economically, Malawians need to be emancipated. And I think you can correct me if you think otherwise, but in my own understanding, my own thinking, I think that is more difficult than the political emancipation that we fought for and won. Can you please speak to that? Because I think, like you said earlier, also, it will take an empowered citizenry, each person taking responsibility as an individual citizen in Malawi to bring about that economic emancipation, which is, I think, harder to achieve. It's going to take it's going to be a bigger fight, and it could take a little bit longer than the political emancipation that we've just witnessed. could you please speak to the individual Malawian as regards to their responsibility and what they can do to contribute to the national economic emancipation?
Thank you very much. I agree that economic emancipation, I wouldn't say it's harder, but I would say it takes longer.
Mm.
It's not something that is instant.
Yeah.
There are no miracles about it.
No
That
miracle.
let there be a hill, then there will be a hill. Let there be a mountain. No, it's not about that. It's only Jesus that can perform such miracles. But economics is a discipline. And as a discipline, it requires certain ethics to be followed for it to be achieved.
Yeah.
I said, I believe in human development and capabilities approach to development. Where we have just launched Agenda 2063.
Yeah.
The agenda that is promoting what we call an inclusive and democratic developmental state. Underline words inclusive,
Yes,
democratic, and developmental state.
Mm-hmm.
We need a very powerful state that is actually decisive and that would stand for its decisions as long as they know this is right for our people. We need homegrown solutions. We should stop adopting everything that comes from, the other sides of the shore to say this is the right way of doing things. If this was done in Russia, Europe, China, then that's the right way.
Yeah.
As a people, we have capabilities to do our own things, and we need to find solutions to our problems. There is no one size fits all in developing a country.
Yeah.
We can just take some models and adopt models, but I think we need to find our own solutions.
Yes.
To begin with, we used to talk about poverty reduction.
Yeah.
We are now talking about wealth creation. You see, the beauty about wealth creation is that it speaks very well with the development philosophy of capabilities approach.
Yeah.
If we create proper macroeconomic environment, that shall mean we are going to empower and create wealth in our people. If our people are empowered, it means they can afford to address their basic needs, such as health, education, energy, etc., etc.
Yeah.
As a country, we have been running a consumption budget. And as a country, we have not been productive. And if a country cannot produce and export, it becomes so difficult for the country to grow.
Yeah.
We need to change our country from an aid-based country to a trade-based country. Trade should be at the center of our development, not aid. We cannot continue relying on other people to define our destiny. As I said, destiny must be written by us, not for us. You get that aspect?
Yes.
So, the whole 2063 agenda is basically trying to bring an agenda of wealth creation. So, if we were to emancipate our people economically, then we should make sure that even the interest rates from the banks and everything, they have to go down.
Yes.
Because our people do not have the borrowing power. It becomes so difficult for them to do business because they don't have capital.
That's right.
The rates at the banks are punitive.
That's right.
If we are to empower our people, is what the current government has done. We are looking at, minimum wage. You see, it has been raised to 50,000. Secondary, we have expanded the tax band. You see, like every first 100,000 is not deducted with any tax. So, many people are in the salary which is below 100,000. So what this government did is to say, okay, let's expand the tax band so that if somebody receives a salary that is below 100,000, should take the whole amount back home, no kind of deductions. By that, we are trying to reduce inequalities. We're trying to empower the people on the ground. So I think if we're to do economic emancipation, we must agree as a people that we are going to swallow a painful pill because it is slow. We must remove corruption completely within our systems because corruption has paralyzed our country.
Yes.
Mostly, you see the development initiatives we have, like roads, you find that in 2 months' time, the road is dilapidated, it's gone. The money has gone in the pockets of the few. The buildings which we're building, you build a building, 2 years, it's down. It has got cracks all over. But the buildings that come left with us, they're all still strong. So yes. I would like to submit to say corruption has totally destroyed our country. That's why I commend the president to say one of the super high five points is about ending corruption.
Yeah.
And it has started very well. The president is tough on this, and all of us must follow the vision and support the president. So economic emancipation will require sacrifices. We need to sacrifice. We need to empower our people. Our people should own land. If somebody does not have land, then doesn't have any inheritance. So we need to even look at the land policies to say, how can we make our land policies to empower our people so that they have got the land where they can do their economic activities, etc., etc.
Very good. Very well said. I agree with you 100%. But I'm going to push back a little bit on what you just said because I think one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem that Malawi has faced with regards to economic emancipation has not come necessarily from the citizenry, but from the leadership, those who were in power. So I'm talking about government officials, ministers, and people like that. Now, for you as a minister, clearly from what you're saying, I mean, you are totally committed to seeing a development agenda being pushed forward and actually actualized for Malawians. But when you look around you in the government, what do you see? I'm asking this because I think the narrative that you're bringing, the message that you're bringing, I think should also go not only to the citizenry, but also to those who are in leadership, your fellow ministers, your fellow government officials, because we have seen it over and over, and it's so painful to watch that people get into office with good agendas, they'll have a good vision, but they get in there and then they forget all about it. They forget about the people, they're enjoying the wealth, and what all they think about is themselves, me, myself, and I. What message do you have to your fellow ministers who are in government right now, and leading and guide, sort of like providing leadership in very key ministerial positions, and yet perhaps they may not be as sold to the agenda as you are? What would you say to them?
I would like not to judge anybody, but when I talk about a solution to our challenges in this country that is embedded in the citizens. Citizens, I mean everyone, from citizen number one to all of us.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So when I say this, I don't mean that I'm isolating politicians or leaders.
Yeah.
We need discipline, all of us at all levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the blame does not go to one. All of us have failed. Having docile citizens has been one of the problems for a long time. Citizens have just been watching things happening. But I'm
Yes.
happy that citizens have risen. They want an accountable government.
Yes.
They want a transparent government.
Yes.
Now, the advantage and the hope that I can give to the people is that we have a government that has decided to be open.
Mm-hmm.
We have an open and transparent government.
Yeah.
We have got a president with an agenda. One, to make sure that those that are in power, the servants and not bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are the bosses. There is a social contract between we in public offices and the citizens.
Yeah.
That is stipulated in section 12 of Malawi Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And as I speak here, the message goes to everyone, even in public office,
Yes.
to say we have got a duty to our people.
Yeah.
And before God. That's why we take an oath using holy books, because we take an oath to our people in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
So I don't think now is the time for anybody who wants to have personal benefits or gains. If somebody gets to government with an objective of eating,
yeah,
then is in a wrong government, because
yeah,
this government will not tolerate that.
very good.
So this is what I can say. We are dictated by, a principle of leadership that should be servanthood.
Yeah,
And we are called upon to unify our people, whether those in opposition and those in government. We have to move with one agenda.
yeah,
The time for campaign is over. It seems like most people are in a constant campaigning mood. You find that they're constantly fighting each other for nothing.
yeah,
When they see somebody as a threat, they will start creating propaganda stories against those people. I've been a victim. There are people who are working day in, day out to dent my image for nothing. Today they will say I've bought 2 tankers. Tomorrow they will say I've bought 7 Porsche cars. The other day they will say I've bought 20 tankers. The other day they will say I've bought a farm for 200 million. Every day they continue creating fake news and fake stories about me, because their objective is to destroy me.
yeah.
We should never seek to destroy each other. We have got a lot of enemies amidst us as a people.
Yeah.
We have got poverty to deal with. We have got hunger to deal with. We have got corruption to deal with. We have got segregation, discrimination, tribalism, regionalism, nepotism to deal with. We have got too many enemies amidst us, including disease, coronavirus. So I don't see any reason why we, the people of Malawi, could be fighting for nothing. Every day you open a social media page, you find that people are fighting. So indeed, I agree, those in power, they have also been responsible to disunite the country. They have been responsible also for corruption.
Yes.
They have been responsible also to ensure that Malawi does not move forward. But
Yeah.
the citizens as well, they have been responsible because they have been so docile. So the spirit that was started in 2019, 2020 must be sustained and must continue. We must demand accountability.
Yes.
But as I said, for us to ensure that we are moving in a systematic manner that will produce results tomorrow for all of us, we must get organized, we must be disciplined, and we must push a common development agenda.
Yes.
Za kampeni zo tizayamba mu 2024-2025.
Yes.
Campaign imachitika every 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's give enough time for development. So you find that even those in political parties, chikarowa chipani china, they will start fighting to make sure that aononge awawa so that they come out tirowe so ifeo.
Yeah.
It's not about tirowe so ifeo. It's about pushing a common agenda that will build Malawi. Anzano akarepera, then mu 2025 muauza anthu kuti iwo tinapasa mpata arepera mwakuti ifeyo titakutandizani mwakuti osati daily kumapanga zinthu muareperese anthu kuti inuwo muoneke anzeru. Who is suffering are Malawians. And my warning to young people, mostly it's young people that are used, but they're not given employment. When a politician comes you and sends you to say, go and attack the president, go and attack the vice president, go and attack Minister A, Minister B, go and attack CIC Mtambo, that person is not helping you. Tell them to say, give me employment. I want employment. Not giving me peanuts to be attacking people. Young people should be the drivers of change and drivers of development.
Very good. Well, that's very, very wonderful. I have two other things I want to follow up on, and we can bring this to a close. You've spoken very well concerning how the role that leadership, people in government, people in power have played in the past to really delay and even inhibit development for Malawi. And we always talk about, sacrifices, and you've spoken about that. And even when we look at our history, going as far back as to the time of Thomas Banda, the first president of Malawi, people, actually even beyond that, John Chilembwe, people sacrificed their lives. These were regular folks, citizens in the villages, but they were so passionate, they were so patriotic. They wanted to see a better Malawi, and so they were willing even to give their lives. They made such great sacrifices to see a better Malawi realized. And even today, we want to see that spirit continue, that a spirit of sacrifice. And the leadership, people in leadership always talk about this. But a question I want to ask you is, what specific sacrifices can people in your position, ministers, or members of parliament make? What do they need? What sacrifices, what particular sacrifices do they need to make to help us all move forward and realize this development agenda, this economic emancipation that we all want?
The most important thing, we should be satisfied of what we are and where we are. We should be able to sacrifice for the greater good. You know why we have too much corruption? Is that people, they always want to have more and more. And amafuna kuti azioneka ngati madoro onse muziko akale ngati makape. So what I would like to say, the sacrifice that leaders must give, one, they must give time. They must be so dedicated to duty. Two, they must ensure that they stay away from corrupt practices. They must ensure that they should work hard to build this country and make sure that whatever decision that we make should be for the betterment of our people, for the greater good and common good.
Yes.
And, we must even be able to sacrifice some political decisions of the political parties that, some political interests of the political parties that we belong to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find that in parliament, MPs are going to reject a very progressive bill just because their party is telling them don't support this because it's being advocated by party A or party B. You understand?
Yes.
So we must be able to stand up to say, even if I belong to this party, but I think this is good for Malawi and I'm going to support this. So we must be able to sacrifice party interests for national development. And probably I would also like to sacrifice, to say, to advise that, we need also to sacrifice our personal interests. Malawi is bigger than our interests. There are some people whose interest is to lead. When it is person A, no, ndikanakaa ndineyo. Akamamona wina pacha ndikanakaa ndineyo. They will do everything to jeopardize kuti muntu yoyo alepere, so that they should appear to be smarter. So I think for the sake of the greater good, we must be able to sacrifice our individual interests for the sake of our country. So when we begin doing that, we will be able to support any leadership that takes an oath of office of the president.
Yes.
We'll be able to support any leadership that takes an oath for the office of the vice president. And we will be able to support the cabinet. You know, you see a lot of obsession around to say, people are always talking about, what is this? Reshuffle. No, reshuffle cabinet. You know, the interest is they reshuffle, then I come in. The interest is they reshuffle so that our own person, maybe from our party or whatsoever, should come in. But they're not looking at the greater good of a country. So we need to learn to sacrifice our personal or political interests for the sake of a greater good of a country.
Yes.
This is very important.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much. You've answered that very well, and I hope that the message is going, loud and clear to those in power, those members of parliament, those ministers, your fellow ministers, and I'm sure even the president and the vice president. This is what we all need to see, because we want you guys to lead by example. It's not enough for you to talk about sacrifices when you're not making sacrifices yourselves. And so if we want a citizenry that is actually moving together, we must all pull in the same direction, and every single one of us has to chip in. We have to make sacrifices, all of us together, because it's not, like you said it very well, it's bigger. This is bigger than any one of us. Now, in conclusion, I want to ask you a question about the citizenry. We started this movement. You helped, spearhead that. We brought about this economic change. Now we're talking about political emancipation. How do we sustain momentum moving forward? What advice do you have for Malawians as a country?
Yeah, the struggle continues, and I have to be honest to say, we should never be satisfied as a people. We should always have the urge to be better or to do better.
Yes.
And my advice to young people is that the spirit of accountability and transparency must be promoted. The spirit of active citizenship should not die.
Yeah.
But let's be organized.
Yes.
Let's refuse to be used by us politicians. Let's be agents of development, not agents of destruction and confusion. So my advice is that we should move collectively, unity of purpose towards development. Development and leadership, there are things you can never separate. Development requires leadership, and leadership requires support. So we have a leadership right now. So we need to support the leadership, not by being docile citizens, not by being puppets, but by being active citizens, but disciplined citizens. When I open the social media and I see a citizen insulting the leader of the country, my heart bleeds. When I open the media, I see citizens insulting cabinet ministers, my heart bleeds. We can do the same thing professionally. We can say the same things in a disciplined manner. I remember in the struggle, I never called a president stupid. No matter how many attacks I had, which I could know that they were being sponsored by some people, and it was very clear I never stood up to say, this is a stupid leader. This is the what. I always knew that this is our leader. We must respect. We can differ on principle, but active citizenship does not mean insults. So I'm saying, let's be disciplined and let us avoid, what I would call cyberbullying.
Yes.
So the spirit of activism, the people power spirit must go on.
Yes.
And me, as a CIC for Citizens for Transformation movement, the dream still lives. Our dream is to see capable and empowered citizens. Our dream is to see a transformed Malawi. Our dream is to see a united Malawi, a country where love thrives, a country where leaders are supported and are respected. When you constantly attack a leader, you confuse a leader. Sometimes the leader decides to close up, to say, even if I do something good, people do not appreciate me. I do something bad, it's the same. So the leaders closes up. So, the current government practices an open door policy. So whoever has got issues, they should be able to engage openly. We at the Ministry of Civic Education, we are going to try to create platforms of engagement. We want to expand the civic space. We want to expand the people's voices. As a government, our intention is not to silence people. So we want people's voices to be expanded and to ensure that we promote platforms of dialogue. Our ministry is setting up what we call the Pabuaro Government and Citizen Engagement Forum, where government will openly come and engage citizens mandates and how they are taking care of people's welfare, and the people will have an open opportunity to give an input in the same process. So what we're saying, we have to take government closer to the people and people closer to government. I like that. So that we move as a people with a collective vision, with one commander, with one general, and we need to support our general. We can only have one general at a time. Yes. Sometimes some people would want to become generals when we have one general. You can't expect to have 10 generals at a time. So I'm requesting that all of us, we should appreciate, whether in opposition, ruling, we should know that we have got one general, the president, and we should be able to support the vision of the president. This can be done while ensuring that we're a disciplined and respectful society.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Comrade Timothy Mtambo. I like that. The commander-in-chief for the Citizens for Transformation. You've given us a lot of things to think about, and I'm sure those who are watching this and listening to us are going to benefit a lot from this. Next time we talk about we talk again, I would like to perhaps talk about the rights and responsibilities of citizens of Malawi in this particular struggle towards economic emancipation. But thank you so much for your time. It's been, I mean, I don't know if you are looking at me, but I was writing a lot of notes. I have a lot of notes. I'm going to be going through them over the next few days because you've said it's so much I would like to follow up on. And so my hope and my prayer is that we can do this again sooner rather than later, and that we can continue this discussion until everyone, the message gets across to everyone, and that we can all really help the government, help the president, the vice president, lead this nation into a better Malawi, a more prosperous Malawi. That's what we all want. We want people who are, like you said, empowered citizens, empowered with a vision, empowered with the freedoms that are necessary for them to develop personally, but also for Malawi as a country to develop. So thank you so much for once again giving us the time, but also just for all these wonderful things that you've shared. I really appreciate you, and may you please continue the fight. It's not over yet. There's still a lot of work to do, and I want to just say myself, I am one of those people who will be praying for you. I have been praying for you and for all the government ministers, for the president, and I will continue to do that. And let's talk again soon.
Thank you. God bless you. And may
Thank
God
you.
bless Malawi. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. God bless you.